podcast. My name is Nicole, and I am sitting in my green room and not in the loft because I am enjoying what I like to call my sweet spot. And that's the couple of minutes after my husband leaves and right before my kids come home. So I'm pretty much by myself, and I can't climb up in the loft today because all my knitting and crocheting is down here. So what better to do with your sweet spot time? And also, you guys, today was tax day for my husband and myself, and that was just so enjoyable. It wasn't painful. It was good. But, what do you want to do after taxes? You want to come home, grab a glass of wine. And if I want to grab some wine, I can't climb in the loft. And I also wanted to talk to you guys and share what I've been knitting and crocheting because it has been going down. Not only have I been knitting and crocheting, I have been doing like all kinds of other crafts. I don't know if you guys know, but March, which is just past because today is April the 1st, March is National Craft Month, and I think that this is like a Joann's / Michael's made up label for the month, but whatever, I'm all about it. So to celebrate National Craft Month, I started doing a whole lot of crafts, and I'm looking around to see if I could have sworn I brought, oh man, I didn't. I don't know where I put everything. I was like, oh, I'm going to grab everything. I'm going to bring it down here. Well, it's already down here, but I'm going to put it next to the computer. And so I can show you guys. But I guess I didn't. So I boned up on my sewing. Well, I picked up on it. And I dyed I made some homemade lip gloss out of Vaseline, melted Vaseline, and oh no, not Vaseline. Not Vaseline. I made it out of was it olive oil and crayons? There's a whole thing on YouTube about it, like and how crayons are non-toxic. I also went and purchased. I have been purchasing things to do watercolor because it just looks kind of fun. So when Dylan, who is my son Jason's brother, when he was here this past weekend, we were watercoloring, and I had acrylics that I use for decorating my nails because I saw it on YouTube too. So I had some acrylic paints, and we painted up a wazoo, and then my husband bought some skateboard blanks, and I painted one of those, and so I've been doing all kinds of crafts. Last night, because the kids are so heavy into skateboarding, I found tutorials and I read stuff on how to make skateboard wax, and what that is wax that the skateboarders put on the curves so that their boards can slide better. So I was melting wax, and I tried wax and olive oil, wax and vegetable oil, and then I'm gonna try wax and Vaseline, and I have silicone molds. So I poured those in, and yeah, I've done that. Oh, I think that's pretty much it. But it's been like craft heavy month around here, and the good thing about the painting was that my son got in on the action, and so it was Dylan and I. And then Nick came in, so a couple of days we all spent together painting, and that was very fun. So I think I'll make that an every weekend type of thing and bring out different things for them to paint. So, yeah. On top of all that, I've been knitting and crocheting as if I was not going to be. Yeah. So, okay. Let's talk about what I have been crocheting. Well, obviously, so the blanket behind me is called the Love Afghan. To make the Love Afghan, you need to know how to chain, to half double crochet, for me, I did not like the look of doing tapestry crochet in half double crochet, so instead I did it in single crochet. So if you want to make a blanket that looks just like this one, you need to know how to single crochet, and you also need to, of course, know how to do tapestry crochet. If you don't know how and you're very interested in learning, you can go to YouTube and type in the search engine tapestry crochet, or Google it, and it's really easy. It's really easy. And for me, the one thing that I really have to remember, well, I had to remember, is that it's unlike knitting, you change the color. Unlike knitting in like Fair Owl and Intarsia, you change the color on the stitch before, kind of like in preparation for, you know, the new color. So that was, to me, the hardest thing to remember. And also, I am not good at crocheting backwards and forwards, so that's in tapestry crochet. So what I did was, if you can see over here, the ends hanging, what I would do is, when I got to this part, I would just cut it. Once I got to the end of the row, I would cut it and just start from the beginning, and that way my forward side was facing all the time, and I didn't have to worry about crocheting backwards or crocheting with my left hand. There are a lot of techniques to get around changing the look, because it's really, it's not involved. But if you crochet regular across the back, it will change the look of the lettering. So if you want your lettering to be consistent, which of course I did because this was a gift, I just wanted to always have for me, it was easier to always have the front of the blanket facing me, and the only way that I could do that was cut my ends. I don't have a problem with weaving in ends. I'm looking forward to putting on a movie, or maybe catching a good old movie on Turner Classics and just chilling out and weaving in the ends before I start the border. You don't have to do it that way. You can totally like crochet it on the back side. Once again, go to YouTube, but that is what worked for me. I am making this blanket mostly out of loops and threads, impeccable yarn, and this blanket is made all out of acrylic because Hillary is a new bride, so even though she is a knitter, I did not want to burden her with the worries of a wool blanket, or you know, how to wash it. So I made it really super easy for her to take care of. And I also really would love it if they were to use the blanket. You know, I don't want it just to be sitting somewhere. I want them to bundle up in it, or for her to bundle up in it, and just know that, you know, I love her, you know, well, you get what I'm saying. So that's why I picked acrylic. This is 268 yards in a ball, and I purchased these. They were on sale, so I got like a ton of them from Michaels. The other color is just some red heart and gray, because the bride likes gray. So yeah, I am very excited to have been done with the lettering. So the beginning part is just a bunch of half double crochet. That's fine, but to me, it was really important to get the lettering correct. And I haven't done too much lettering in tapestry crochet, none at all really. So none. This is my first time thinking about it. So I wanted to get it correct. So you are instructed, look at all these marks. You are instructed to print out, because you do get a chart, to print it out and to read it. And if you are going back and forth, left and right, then you have to read it, the lettering one way, then read it in the opposite way, the chart. And I was like, that is just too much to keep up with too. So with me changing it and changing the way that I was going to crochet it, and making sure that I always had the front facing me, I just kept having to read from, what is this, left to right. Yeah, it's been a long day. Taxes, I tell you, they get you. So yeah, so I just had to go from left to right. That made this chart a lot easier for me. Also, I counted, And you see there's Sharpie. There's a lot of Sharpie. There are letters on there. And then, but by the very end, what I did was I sat down with the pattern and I just did my own little sheet and I counted. I did every row and the stitches that were in the row until the final, to the last one. And that was super easy. So like, I had how many whites, how many grays, and that made this thing fly for me. Like really, I put it down for for about a week after I came back from the knitting pipeline retreat because I was just tired and I didn't think that I could handle it. So I did pick it up last week and it was fine. I just love doing this. I love this pattern, literally love it. My husband loves it. Of course he wants one. Of course he will not get one until 2 years from now, I'm sure, because after this one is done I want to pick up the Tree of Love bobble blanket that I started originally for her, but I had to stop making it as a gift because the yarn didn't match up. It was just a horrible mismatch. So that's one thing that I have been crocheting. I'm looking forward to picking an edge. I'm going to go and I have a couple of ebooks on my iPad. I'm going to pick an edge, a border. So I don't know what I'm going to pick, but I'm looking forward to doing that. Oh, the boys are home from school. So I guess the sweet spot is over, but they know what I do. You guys know I have children, right? Right, okay. So I am keeping that in my bag that Lois gave me. So yeah, it goes in here. It fits in here. It fits in here with yarn and room. Stop it. Why are you singing that? Huh? What do you mean what? Is that okay?
Yeah.
No. Don't get punished. Okay. So, yeah, I love it. I love my bag. I love it. And she gave it to me in February, so it's my birthday bag too. So after I'm done with Hillary's thing, I'm going to put something else in. I'm already anticipating what to cast on. What I've also been crocheting is I've been catching up on my crochet mood blanket, and what it is that it's an Instagram thing which turned into like this crazy viral thing. And one of the key member is Fro Funky, FROFUNKY. She's this gorgeous woman with these gorgeous children, and she really wanted to have a crochet mood blanket year-long, crochet along. So you could either crochet a granny square or any kind of square or hexagon or whatever, or stripe to reflect your mood on how you felt that day or that week or just throughout the month, right? One square a month. I knew that I couldn't do a granny square every day. It's just not happening. I tried it before on my own. I couldn't do it on my own. I'm not going to be able to do it with a group. But I could commit to doing one every week. So January and February went by pretty smoothly. So these are the squares. I've showed these before. Now Annette, I know you're watching. Annette asked on Instagram, and I never answered her back, how big are these squares? I have not measured these squares. They are made with worsted weight acrylic yarn, and they are made with a size J crochet hook, and they are 5 rounds deep. So that's how big it is. So I'm making every square 5 rounds wide, and then I am joining them as I go, and then at the end of the month I put a border on them. You won't be able to have, how many are left? Like 2. No, I'm not FaceTiming, I'm podcasting. Like 2, you won't be able to have any for dinner, okay? So this is January's and this is February's. Yes, this is January's and this is February's. And this is March. Now, as I said, today is the 1st of April, so I am behind for the 4 weeks in March because I'm only doing mine. I don't care if there's an extra week or one missing. I'm only gonna do 4 for the month. So I need to do one more and border it and join it. But I did make these this week because I just didn't have the time to do it earlier, regularly in the month. And these squares, you know what? This March was all about fun, fun, fun. And these squares, the color is fun to me. I mean, the first week of March was super fun because my cousin had a birthday party. I went to the knitting pipeline retreat. I got to go to Lois's house. This is a super fun month. So these colors are fun and they make me happy. And that's what March was for me. It was a very, very, very happy month. So now let's get into what I have been knitting. After the knitting pipeline retreat, I came back and I was like very, very inspired to start finishing up my sweaters and possibly cast on another one, even though I haven't worn any of the ones that I've made. Oh well. Who knits to wear their stuff? I know you do. I know you do. So, I came back and I picked up my long, long dead featherweight cardigan. The featherweight cardigan is a paid-for pattern by Hannah Fettig. It is available for download on Ravelry, as is the crochet afghan, as is a tutorial for a granny square pattern, right? So I had cast this on last year. Woo-wee. And when I first cast it on, I was making good progress, and then I just got stuck. So, yeah. To make the Hannah Fettig featherweight cardigan, you need to know how to knit front and back, to put stitches on a holder because you have to separate for the sleeves. You also need to know how to purl. Purling is your friend. And for mine, I changed colors. You don't have to. So you have to increase and you also have to decrease. I don't remember what they are now because it's been so long ago. And as a matter of fact, I don't remember what they are. And this is why I came back and I finished one sleeve, right? And this is adult size. This is a Nikki size. It fits. So I finished one sleeve. I finished that sleeve when I got home, and I picked up this. I put the stitches on the needle for the second sleeve, and now I have to look for the pattern and figure out what the decreases are because I totally forgot them because it's been so long. But I am determined to get this done. I am making. Of course, this is another Knitting's My Bag. I got so many of them. I love them. I am making this out of lace weight yarn, and that is what the pattern calls for. The green color is Dream in Color. I think it's Baby or Classy. I can't remember, you guys. I have a project page on a Ravelry for it. Can you believe that? Yeah. So this is Dream in Color lace weight, and then the chocolate color is lace weight yarn that was gifted to me for my birthday a couple of years ago. So this is Stash. So yay, yay, right? I was using Stash. Oh, excuse my phone. So I knitted on this too. Like, I was picking up everything. I was picking it up and I was knitting on it and I got it done. I am looking for my socks because I've been working on socks. But they're not here, so I'll just show them next time. Okay. All that's going on, I cast on a new project. If you guys watched last week's episode, or the last episode of the Positively Knitting podcast with my husband, I showed a skein yarn that was given to me by the beautiful Jennifer, who is the dyer behind Daisy Knits Yarn. She's Daisy. She is the Daisy. Okay, so I also showed yarn that I purchased, one skein for me and a skein for Lois, the twin yarn. And I did not want to announce the giveaway until I started knitting. Not the giveaway. Well, yeah, the giveaway or the contest, until I started knitting with the yarn because I just prefer to use yarn that I want to give away. Okay, so the pattern that I found is called the Sherry Shrug. And it is a $3 pattern. It's available for download on Ravelry. And it is just a shrug. And this is how far I've gotten. I looked and that's better. That is more true. This yarn is called, I think it's called Petal. It's by Daisy Knits, like I said, and it's 500. Of course, I lost the tag. It's 540 yards of yarn, and it's an alpaca mix. So this yarn does contain alpaca. If you guys want to know, like for sure what's in it, go and look at last week's podcast. Or if you just really want to know in a hurry, and because I don't have a project page for this yet, what you can do is on the search engine on Ravelry, when you go to the yarns tab in the search, type in Petal or type in Daisy Knits, and then her worsted weight, then you'll see her different bases. And this works for almost any kind of dyer, any type of yarn. Even if you don't know the dyer, you know the name of the yarn. If you see a yarn on another podcast or in a store, you want to know what it is, you can go, you can use that search function. I find that it's very, very, very helpful and useful. And what else you can do in that function is you can see other patterns that were knit with this yarn, okay? Anywho, I cast on my Sherry Shrug and I have been loving it. So I am using a size 6 and a size 7 needle because 6 and size, no, I'm using a size, okay, the ribbing was used, I cast on with the size 6. I cast on with the size 6 for the ribbing, right? And then for the body, I am using a size 11 needle. And that's why it's so lacy. I am going to have to seam this shrug. Okay, to make this Sherry Shrug, you need to know how to knit, to purl, to slip one, knit two together, pass slip stitch over, to yarn over, and that's it. That is it. You're also going to have to do some seaming, right? That's fine with me. I don't mind it because of the way that the ends are. I think it'll be easy and good to seam. What I'm loving about this is the 1 row lace pattern. That's it. 1 row, and it's like a 6-stitch repeat. The color of this yarn is just gorgeous. She should have called this Pink Lemonade because that's what it looks like. I may have to call it my Pink Lemonade Shrug. I love the fact that it's drapey. I love the fact that it's loose. I can't wait to see the end result. And the way that I am accomplishing this is that I am not rushing. I am in no rush to get this thing done. I have a deadline in my head, but I am not. It's not until May. I am doing about 10 rows of lace a day. And I had a cold because you know your husband goes and he gets cold and he comes and he looks at you and sneezes all over you and take care of me, and what do? You get sick. So I had a cold and I still managed to do, you know, my lace because it's so simple. So I would not, the only thing about this pattern is that I would not recommend it for a very first I wouldn't recommend it for a newer knitter. The instructions assume that you know so much, and that's one of the things about instructions that I can't stand. Yes, that's why I would recommend it too. It's because you have to increase so many rows. You have to increase so many times while keeping the lace pattern. But if you can't keep the pattern, then don't do these stitches. And it's like ridiculous. Like, how are you supposed to know that? I need a pattern where, especially if I'm paying for it, can you please just write down row by row by row, increase, do this, don't, you know, do this to this end, and then purl 3. Like, that's what I need. So that's one of the reasons why it's too much to do in the increasing after you come off the ribbing. That is the only reason why I would not recommend it for a newer knitter, because that could be very frustrating, which could lead to a turn off. And I know for me, the fact that a lot of stuff is not written, you're supposed to understand it or you're supposed to get it in certain patterns. I'm like, forget that. If my friends are like, this pattern wants me to, I can't figure it out, I know, I'm like, I'm never going to knit that pattern. So, but this one wasn't too bad. I I started out casting on because I'm a little girl, people. I am 5'3" and 100 pounds on a good day. So I'm a little girl. And I started off, and I'm normally in extra small. And it's certain stores, extra smalls are too big for me, which is annoying, but whatever. We all have our struggles. So wah wah. It's like me listening to people. I'm sure this is like me listening to people who have like bigger boobs complaining about how hard it is. Like, really? I don't even want to hear. I have no sympathy. One of those people would be my sister. Like, really? Okay. But, so I'm used to casting on for an extra small. I cast on for the extra small, and even though I am a looser knitter, it still was too little. So what I ended up doing was casting on for the small size, which is just perfect, and I ended up increasing only to the extra small increases, only because I was over trying to figure out when and when not to do my yarn overs, because there weren't enough stitches that were going to be available to me by the end of the pattern. I did not have the headspace. So and it's working out perfectly. I think it's going to have just the right amount of drape for me. So I do 10 stitches, like I said, 10 stitches a day. I've been doing it. I need to do about another 7 days before I have the width to where I can start going back to the ribbing, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I love it. It is so pretty. It makes me very, very happy. Can you guys see the lace? I always move too much to me. So yeah, but that color is more real. So I said that I was going to announce the contest for the Daisy Knits yarn. And if you guys want to see the yarn, go to this week's show notes. I'm going to put a picture up there. So the contest is, what you can do is, I want you to go under the Daisy Knits, winter skein of Daisy Knits yarn thread, and I want you to tell me what pattern you would make with this yarn. Yeah, would you make something that's, well, not this yarn, but the yarn that's up for grabs, and it's fingering weight yarn, so it's not worsted weight. This one is worsted weight. It's 400 yards of fingering weight yarn, and it's the 80-20. 80% merino, 20% nylon. So it's sock yarn or not. It could be sock yarn, shawl yarn. If for the right person, it could even be a little shrug or a little sweater yarn, or even for a kid. So go in the group and tell me what you would make. And you also can tell me too if you have the pattern or if you don't have the pattern. And I want you to be honest too, because I just want to win it so I can put it in my stash and I'll figure it out later. I want to know. So, and if you, I'll put up a picture of it, and if you tag me on Instagram, and I'll put it on. Go to the group for further instructions, because I'll figure this out, because obviously I'm making this up as I go along. But if you tag me, if you post a picture of the skein of yarn and you tag me on Instagram, and I'm Hot Ass Knitter on Instagram, HOTAZZ Knitter, then you will get an extra shot at winning the yarn. And I will announce, what is this, April? So I'm going to give you guys 2 months. This contest is going to go on for 2 months because I am all about the longer contests, right? So I will announce the winner at the end of May. Okay? And I'll ship it to you. And it's international too. You guys can participate. So yeah. The positive reminder of this episode is to listen to your body. Please remember to listen to your body. If you are feeling tired, if you are feeling sick, if you're feeling just out of it, take a moment. Take a moment. If you're feeling sick, do what you need to do to take care of yourself. If you are feeling fatigued, please get some rest. Because if you don't stop and rest, your body will make you rest. If you don't sit down, then your body will sit you down. Trust me, I know. I had to sit myself down for 1 day because I was so fatigued. Because I hadn't been resting properly. I didn't rest properly any March at all. And my body got me for it. It really did. It totally got me, and I just had to sit down. And once I did get a good amount of rest, then I feel much better. So yeah, listen to your body. There's nothing wrong with it. Get the rest that you need when you can, if you can. Okay, and eat properly too, because that's good too. Okay, so that's it. So remember to enter the Daisy Knits contest, you guys. Oh, also just an FYI, Joanna Spring has some Daisy Knits fiber that she's giving away in her group, and that's at the Knit Spin Farm. Because I likes to share. That's the Knit Spin Farm podcast. So if you guys are not knit, well, you knit. If you're knitters and you're spinners, and you want to go over there and win some fiber, tell her I sent you. She's my friend. Okay, until next time, thank you guys for bearing with me. And the weather, it was raining last night in California. I love it. I'm supposed to rain again tonight. We need it. And thank you guys for putting up with the interruption of the kid. And I hope that you guys will have a wonderful week knitting, crocheting, Instagramming, sewing, dyeing, watercoloring, paint, whatever makes your heart happy. And I hope that you guys will join me next time here in my house, where I'll be positively knitting. Bye.